Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. And as the title of the video gives away, this is the unboxing and card making for the limited edition Simon Says Stamp Halloween kit. During the month of Stamptember, they generally release several limited edition kits. I can't say for sure, but I do know this one is being released because I've got it in front of me. And these kits, like all the other limited edition things, are one and done when they sell out. They're not being restocked. However, most, if not all of the items are also available individually. So I will provide links like I do, so you can kind of pick and choose if the kit's not your style, etc. And yeah, I legit have no idea. I know one thing that's in this kit because it's sitting right in front of me, but the rest is I haven't even had a chance. I wanted to unbox it live. And yeah, let's switch the camera over and see what's in this kit because I'm like super excited. Okay, so first thing, you get Distress Grit Paste Glow, a little 1 ounce jar. I don't know why I love these little jars. Here's what the full size. Like the full size jar is 3 fluid ounces. So the kit you get an ounce, which is still a good amount. So you get one of those. And then let's see what all. Ooh, there's so many things. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, this is gonna be fun. So, candy, which is always super fun. So you got candy, and there's like bling, and so all sorts of things. So there's this fun, and I don't have the name of it in front of me, but there's like this wafer die. The die cuts a bat. I assume the whole, like you could tuck this in, you know, and then you could pull it out and like reveal a little sentiment. Oh, so cute. You get a palette knife to use with the texture paste. There is super fun Halloween bling. Oh my gosh, like look at that. There's like little webs in here and little like purple ghosts. Oh my goodness. This is cute. Super cute. So you get that. Get some ephemera. Oh, yes. The Halloween ephemera pack from Tim Holtz, which, yeah, oh, there's so much. There's so much. There's like little like butterflies, and then yeah, all these like funky ephemera pieces. Love, love, love so much. Yeah, yeah. There's tons. There's tons. So, get a pack of that. Get a pack of the Halloween trimmings. This stuff's also really fun. I hoard all this stuff so bad. This stuff it's wired, so you can shape it, you know, if you want to make like little, it would be, you could do little like Halloween wreaths. That could be really cool. You can actually use your heat tool on this. Be very careful with that, but you can use your heat tool on this and it will like cause the edges to curl because it'll kind of start to melt it, so you can make it look super funky. But that'd be really cute. You could make little like Halloween wreaths, and you could use, because you get a pack of the candy corn confections. I hoard these as well. I've got multiple packs of these. But the neat thing with these is you can also take them, because they're malleable, and you can take a blade and you can slice these really thin if you want. So you can slice them really thin to stick to your cards, or slice them really thin to use in like shakers and that, because like they're smaller than real candy corn, but they're like the thickness of real candy corn. So you get a pack of those. Ooh, they did include a pack of these. That's fun. These are the shattered windows transparencies. Tim showed these in his Halloween Idea-ology video. Did I order extras of these as a result of that? Yes. Yes, I did. So yeah, they're literally transparencies. But they've got broken glass. Like, so fun. So fun. So you can make things look like, you know, they're behind pieces of like broken glass. Isn't that neat? These are so neat. So yeah, you get a pack of those. You get, there's envelopes. Can't go wrong with envelopes. There's little like craft bags. So you can create little treat bags, decorate them up. That's always fun. There's also a bigger, like actual, like handled craft bag. Same thing. You can decorate it up and do all the fun things. So you got that. There is double-sided adhesive sheets. So you can trim those down, use it as is, whatever. So you get one of those. There is pattern paper. Ooh, and it's like foiled. Cute. Are those little faces? No, they're just like kind of distressed. Oh. Oh. Man. I need extra. I need extra. I love that so much. Oh, and that's all really cute. This pattern paper is ooh. This is what I'm talking about when I tell you guys about my magpie tendencies. Seriously. Like, look at that. Oh. Pattern paper alone is worth it. This is so much fun. So much fun. Oh my goodness. Their little noses are holographic. You can kind of see it there. That's cute. This pattern paper is the best. Ooh. Love. Love. Stuff is adorable. Ooh, I love that one too. Man. I need to get extras of this. I love it. It's so fun. So you get pattern paper. Oh, this stencil set is fun. This is the Halloween Damask stencil. It's the set of 2 6x6 stencils. Oh, that is fun. That is so fun. Ah, loving it. That is so fun. I love that pattern. Like, love it. Love it. I'm like so excited about this. And then there's this big 6x8 stamp set. This is the Just Batty stamp set. This stamp set is bloody cute. Yes. PSL. Let's pumpkin spice it up. Love it. I am assuming, as of filming this, because I don't have any, like, info, I am assuming there's going to be a coordinating die set for this. It will be obviously available separately, especially like when there's like big sets. If there for sure is, I will have a link to it with everything else. Although again, most of these images are very simple, too fast to get, and that's what I will probably be doing. I'm just like staring at this. Oh, like the like funky look of this, and then yeah, obviously all these will fit within that banner. Let the gourd times roll. Oh, I love this. I love this. I love it. Ooh, and then you get little they're technically cellophane bags. So you could do cute little like treat bags. Like fill these up with candy, and then you could use the tinsel to tie them closed. And then create little like tags, etc. Or actually, yeah. Hello. You can just cut these. Cut those. Decorate them up. Add some little doo-doos. And you could have little gift bags. I am probably going to use these though. I like these sorts of things because you can just trim them, like snip them apart so you get 2. And to use them for flat shakers. Because this is literally the product I use for flat shakers. So you could do flat shakers. or you could do little treat bags. But I'm most likely going to use these for flat shakers because that's my thing. And you get some cardstock as well. So get some orange cardstock and some white cardstock. Again, as of filming this, I think this is the whole thing, but I will have a link below to the actual, like, to the kit. It'll have the supplies listed, etc. Because sometimes when things get sent to me, they're not like fully, like, it's pre-production, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to get this filmed now so I can get, like, creating before I start chopping into all the things. And yeah, I am very much overwhelmed. There's so many good things. There's so much fun stuff, and like the ephemera and all the things. Love it. Oh, and you get a glue stick. That rolled off. I didn't even. So you get a glue stick as well. A Simon Ultra Smooth Craft Glue Stick. And yeah. This is really cute. Yeah, you could like stick this behind and have it like... Love it. Love it. So many fun things. Okay, keep watching and I'll show you guys what I decided to make. The stencil set won out. I will probably almost for sure have like more videos coming using different elements, you know, the stamp set, etc. I fixated on the stencil set. I love it. I love it. So I went somewhat backwards, but there's a method to the madness. So I started doing the inside of my cards first, and I used like the base stencil. That's kind of what I call it. And I have my card bases, which are Simon Smooth White cardstock, and it'll be top folding A2 white note cards. And I stuck it to my waffle flower grip mat, and I used a bit of Post-it tape to mask off where the score line is. And then I used one of my paper pouncers and some very light gray ink. So it was Simon's Flannel ink, and pounce it on there because this is going on the inside of the card. So I don't want it to be super vibrant or anything like that. Like I want to be able to write over it and the writing to be legible. So then for the second stencil with the little details, I'm using Simon's Mandarin ink and a paper pouncer, and I'm very lightly pouncing this because I don't want the full saturation because this is a pretty vibrant deep orange. And again, inside of card, want it to be lighter. So I end up doing this 3 times. I originally was only going to make 1 card, and then my brain was like, but what would it look like on orange? And then like I was like, and then what would it look like on black? So I ended up making 3. I couldn't help it. I was having fun. So after I do the inside of this card, I do the exact same thing to all the cards. And that's actually all I do for the insides. I didn't stamp any sentiments or add anything else. I just kind of let the pattern take precedence because I really fell in love with it. I don't know. It's so fun. It's just so fun. So after doing the insides with the much lighter inks, I cut down the white cardstock in the kit. Laid the stencil over it. Didn't bother cleaning off the stencil because it's not going to matter because I'm going over this with black. And for that, I'm using Concord 9's black ink and my black paper pouncer. And I'm putting this on solid. So just solid black. And again, love. The thing is, though, I went very, like my whole combo with all these was just orange, black, and white. You know, very basic, very simple. But yeah, you could get so many different looks with this, like blending different colors. You could do rainbow, purple, aqua colors. Like, oh, you know how fun, man? Yeah. Anyway, again, I need more hours in the day to like all the ideas in my head. Anywho, pounced on solid black. Now, because this is black, for anything to show up on top of it, you need something with either a pigment in it or, you know, an opaque type paste, etc. Because this pattern is black and this other stencil has, you know, the little eye details, things like that. So I could have used like white pigment ink, but that wouldn't show on the open areas, like the little stars of this pattern. So I went with Carved Pumpkin Distress Oxide ink because oxide ink has pigments in it, so it'll sit on top and it'll show up over the black. And I have a separate pouncer for oxides, like a separate set of pouncers. You want to keep your tools, whether it be pouncers or blending brushes, you want to keep them separate between like oxide and pigment inks, those together are fine. But between dye inks and oxide inks, because you can contaminate your, dye ink pads with the pigments from the oxide. So I do recommend separate tools. There are people who wipe their brushes off in between and it's fine. I don't recommend it. The manufacturers don't recommend it and I actually have seen it myself. I grabbed the wrong brush the other day and swirled it into one of my dye ink pads. And I was like, what is that? And yeah, I transferred a bunch of pigments into my dye ink pad. Thankfully, I caught it, was able to wipe it off with a paper towel, but it can happen. Anyway, so that whole disclaimer aside, I did all of that. I left all that ink sitting on here. This was on purpose. I'm letting it mix with the Glow Grit Paste. My only real mistake here was I was pressing too hard with the Glow Grit Paste. You just need a light hand with this stuff. It's pretty, I don't want to say runny. It has a thinner consistency than you would think. One way to get around that though is to actually let your container sit open. I actually ended up removing the press and seal from my main, my container. I didn't bother opening the little baby one you get in the kit. I'm going to save that till I, use up my big container. But yeah, you can actually leave it open for a bit and let it dry out a tiny bit. Tim Holtz mentioned that when he was going over these products because, it dries out a little bit, just a little bit, and it gets, a slightly thicker consistency. So mine smeared a tiny bit. It mixed with the orange, but that's fine. I'm going to let it dry. It is still going to glow in the dark, and I will have an image at the end of the video. It's subtle because that stencil is they're just tiny little areas, but even mixed with the carved pumpkin distress oxide ink, it still glows in the dark. So super fun. So anyway, set that one aside to dry. And then this is where I was like, I want to do this on the orange. So I cut down the burnt orange cardstock that came in the kit, and I had cleaned off my stencils. And for this main layer, I used Simon's white pigment ink and a paper pouncer and applied that all over this background. On top of it, you could use black soot distress oxide ink. That would work. Even black, just that Concord 9th black ink would also work as well. But I have this black opaque texture paste in my stash because I ordered backups of this too because it's fun. You could also take regular opaque texture paste and tint it black with black ink, black reinker, that sort of thing, just water-based black product. People have been asking about that because I've actually shown that in past videos. It's so much more convenient having the actual black texture paste because to get to the actual black color, it really thins out the paste. And same thing, it just gets thin and sort of runny and is annoying. So black texture paste for the win. I love this stuff. So I applied that over the stencil and just chef's kiss perfection. I love this stencil. So anyway, I ended up actually finishing the other two cards. I just couldn't get this one out of my head and came back and did this one as well. Because yes. So, black cardstock, the base stencil, white pigment ink. That's what I started with. So, applied that all over this stencil. This just gives it a little bit more of a base so that the glow texture paste stands out a little bit more. Because the glow texture paste it's mostly transparent, really. It's got that kind of neon-y tint to it because it's a glow-in-the-dark product. But adding something behind it, like this white craft ink, especially on black cardstock, it helps it stand out a bit more. So I pounced that all over the background. So I've got the, white pigment base, and then I'm going to apply the glow texture paste. And this time I was not as rough with it and didn't try to press it into the stencil. I just lightly scraped this over the stencil and completely covered this entire background with the glow texture paste or glow grit paste. And then you have to let it dry. And it took a while because I applied it fairly thick because I didn't want to just press it too much so that it seeps under the stencil. And yeah, again, I will show the image at the end of the video of this glowing in the dark. It is perfection. So I let this dry, and once it was dry, for the other stencil, because I used this glow paste and it's, there is texture to it. It's raised up, it's not flat, obviously. The other stencil cannot sit flush to the cardstock. It's just not possible. So I could not stencil the little stars, which I'm fine with. If I was to redo this, I would have done the detail stencil first and do the stars in like that carved pumpkin oxide ink, because that would have looked amazing. And then finished off everything like I'm doing now. But I was fine with just skipping it. All I ended up doing was I just lined up the stencil. I took that black texture paste and applied it just over the little ghosties and the little skulls so that I get the eyes, like those details. And that's it, because I can't do it over the stars because they're not touching the cardstock. So it would just create weird little like blobs of texture paste. And on top of it, it'd be black on black and you wouldn't really see it anyway. So I was fine with it. And just the way this whole pattern is, it was really easy to just go along with the edge of my palette knife and just apply the texture paste where I needed it. Just like so. And then when I remove the stencil, you see it and it's just like, this was fun. This was a lot of fun. So all of my backgrounds have these stenciled, just awesome patterns to them. And those first two that I did, I'm going to splatter with black soot distress paint. Again, just cause, why not? So shook that up really well, put that on my little palette. I had both these backgrounds in my little splat box, and then I used my fan brush, splattered both these backgrounds with that paint. And with black soot distress paint, you always want to make sure, wash your brush off immediately. Do not let it dry. It dries permanent. So I set all that aside to dry. And then I'm using the stamp set just for a couple of the sentiments. I like those big, bold sentiments. So I took the Happy Halloween stamps and I'm lining them up in my Misty with some black cardstock and used my anti-static powder tool on both ends because I'm going to stamp this. And then I ended up doing it a third time for the final card. And these stamps, and I think there's the word that says greetings. These stamps are not solid. Like you see it on the packaging. They're like kind of gritty looking. That's intentional, to give it that texture, etc. So you're not going to get a smooth, perfectly stamped image with these stamps. That's part of the Halloween look, the distressed look, really. So I coated them with Simon's Detail White embossing powder and then melted these with my heat tool. And once these are melted, I am going to remove the excess anti-static powder just with one of my little microfiber cloths. Again, making sure everything's melted first, tilt it back and forth in the light. We're good to go. Let it cool off, wipe off that anti-static powder. And then I just used my guillotine trimmer to trim these down and just eyeballed it. I could have used my little sentiment label wafer dies for these, but again, these are just big, like rectangle sentiments, super simple to trim out. So that's what I did. So I trimmed all these down and then I did the same thing for card number 3. I'm using like air quotes, but yeah, trying to explain I was like splicing together this video. Everything was random. I was all over the place because too many ideas, not enough time. But anywho, once I've got my sentiments trimmed down, I also end up, I trim down all the backgrounds once everything is completely dry. Gotta let them dry, especially though with the black background with the like tons of glow grip paste. That one took the longest to dry because it had the most paste on it. The other two didn't take very long at all. So once they were dry, I trimmed these down to just slightly smaller. I think I ended up trimming down to like 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then for these two, I had also trimmed down some black cardstock to be just slightly bigger than these so I could mat those layers together just to frame it up. And then adhere those together with craft tacky glue. And then once those are adhered, I will be adhering these to the card bases that I had stenciled with the much lighter inks in the beginning. And then the sentiments, I'm going to pop onto these cards with just some thin foam strips. You could use didn't even think about it. You could use the adhesive foam that comes in the kit. It's a bit thicker, so these would be popped up much higher because this is the waffle flower thinner black foam strips, but you could use the stuff that comes in the kit. That works great too. Whatever floats your boat. So I popped those on the back of the sentiments, and then I stuck these to the cards. And trust me, like, I don't have it on camera, but I was like, I had the entire pack of ephemera from the kit, like, just laid out on my desk, because I was going to add ephemera and layers and all these things. And then I was like, no, just the stencil was just, it needed to shine all on its own. You know, that was the rule for this video, for these cards. So I had fun with it though. And I tell you guys that with all like the pattern paper and the ephemera and all the little things that I hoard, I have so much fun with it. Like just dumping it out and petting it and moving it around. And then I put it back in the package and I revisit it again later. You know, welcome to my brain space. Anyway, adhered those to the card bases. And then with the background that I did with the black cardstock, that one I matted with that burnt orange cardstock. So same thing. I had trimmed the background down after everything was dry, and then adhered it to the burnt orange layer. And then I had stamped and heat embossed 2 more of those sentiments, adhered this background to the card base, popped those sentiments into place, and that finished off card number 3. And I know I did not add any bling, anything. These just were what they were. And when you see the glow in the dark, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I don't know what it is about glow in the dark. Like, it's just fun. So those were my cards for now, using a couple elements from this fabulous kit. And like I mentioned in the intro, the kit is limited edition, but all these other products are currently available. The Simon brand products will be available after this individually, so it's all good. And I will have links to all the things in the description box below the video, like I always do. I will also have a link to my blog post, and you can check that out and check out this glow in the dark. Isn't that fun? Seriously, so fun. So yeah, all the links will be in the description box below the video for anyone interested. Thank you all so very much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping and commenting, letting those robot overlords know you guys like what you're seeing. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.